Hey, welcome back to the channel. I'm Greg, here for Descent at Best, and I'm going to give you my thoughts on the long-term review of the Kuat Transfer V2 hitch-mounted bike rack. I've had it for about 2 years, so I can give you the full feature list as well as pros, cons, and tell you would I buy it again. So stay tuned. The way that this is attached to the vehicle is from a trailer hitch. I had to have mine installed, cost about $150. And then there's an adapter that you use for 2-inch hitches. And what you do is you put a little bolt in, and on the other side, there's a pin that keeps the rod from coming out, and so it's secured in the adapter. Now I want to show you how to put a bike in this rack. Okay, so the way that this works is you unfold this arm and you put your rear wheel here in the smaller channel, and the front wheel goes in the larger tray. Now that's reversed when you have the other bike in as well. And you use the ladder straps here to pull through and to tighten. And then here you pull this up and you use your thumb to push in, and that makes it go up and down so that it can accommodate different tire sizes. And ultimately, you strap in the back wheel with a little ratchet strap, and that secures the bike. Now, if you want to store this, if you're going out in public and not with your bike, and you want to keep it on, I mean, I keep this on year round, is you just use the foot pedal, which is underneath, to put it up. And it makes it really nice because it only juts out just a few inches from the rear. So some pros of this bike rack: number one, this thing can fit even little kids' bikes. It goes all the way down here, and it can fit fat bikes with a little conversion kit all the way up here with up to 4.7-inch tires. So it's a pretty universal situation. Now, some other review sites have talked about how they think that the product is kind of chintzy. You know, it does move around quite a bit, and these beams here, I don't know if they're plastic or what, but they seem plastic, and so they do bend. However, I think it's a pro, because I had somebody hit my car with the bike rack down at a doctor's office, and it bent the rack to the extent that I didn't think that I could fit a bike on it anymore. But I was able to pull it back with some help, and it bent back into place, and it was like the perfect amount of sturdy versus pliable, so that I do feel secure using it, but also if it does get hit, you can actually fix it a little bit, and that's kind of nice. The other thing that I like about this is the fact that since it attaches with that pin down there, you can pretty easily screw that off and take the whole thing out, and it just doesn't weigh a lot. So when I go to a drive-through car wash, I can take that whole thing out and put it in like the back trunk for the car wash and take it out, and it's really not anywhere near the amount of hassle that you might get with another bike rack. So I consider that to be a pro for sure. Yet another pro of this rack is that the rack does not touch the frame of the bike at all. It's touching the rim, and over here it's touching the tire, but it's not touching the frame at all. And so it's never going to cause any frame damage to the bicycle, which is fantastic. I also really like that with the foot pedal you can lean the bike backward, which allows the trunk to open freely, even with some room to spare. And that helps you load in groceries if you just went for a bike ride and all kinds of other things. It's really useful. So the cons of this Kuat Transfer 2 V2 hitch-mounted bike rack. Number one, it's hitch-mounted. And that means you gotta have a hitch, and I didn't. I had to, therefore, get one installed, and that cost a pretty penny. Secondly, this bolt down here, it has a washer behind it, and it does on the other side as well, but I cannot get this thing tight so that it stays tight. And so what ends up happening is that this thing jiggles unless I tighten it up with pliers every single time that I leave the house. Now, it's definitely secure, it's not going to come off, but it's kind of disconcerting seeing the bike moving back and forth in the rear view mirror. It makes you feel like it isn't quite as secure as it should be. So the play is a con for me. The last con I have regards the arms here, and you can see that there's already some wear in there, just some like friction that seems to be going against the middle of the plastic. And because it's plastic, and there's some cuts in there, I'm not so sure about the long-term durability. As I mentioned, some other reviewers have felt that this is a little chintzy, and the fact that there's a lot of plastic kind of makes some sense there, but it also contributes to a lower price point than a lot of the other racks. Again, I haven't had any failures. It's worked like a dream, for 2 years and still going strong. But I wouldn't be surprised if one of these parts had an issue down the line.
So ultimately, I need to answer the question, would I buy this again? And the answer is, yeah, probably. It's not a definite, absolutely go buy it, but all of the other racks that I've seen are worse than this. So yeah, probably. It's really about, will it last another 3 years? I feel like if I can get 5 years out of it, it'll be money well spent. I do like that it's lightweight, that I can move it around really easy. And I love that when I gotta go to the car wash, I can take it out, put it in the trunk, put it back, and it takes only a minute or two. So while this isn't necessarily the most ringing endorsement ever, I still do recommend this, especially if you can get it on sale or as a floor model. It's been over 2 years, it's still going strong, still works, and I don't have to take my bike apart to put it on the rack, and I don't have to climb up to the roof or anything like that. So it is convenient, it's lightweight, and it's something I can move around easily. So I do recommend it, just not with the most enthusiasm ever, because I think there might be something better out there and I'll search for it next time. But anyway, that'll do it for me here on Descent It Best. Please do like and subscribe to see more reviews and killer trail footage, and I'll see you next time.